Welcome to the Fool's Guild, where we talk about everything video games.
I don't like that song.
You don't like Life Will Change?
No, everyone likes that song.
Damn. Okay.
I like Life Goes On.
Okay.
There's
I like the Rainy Day song.
the not Benny the Mask Rain.
Yeah. I'm a shapeshifter at Poe's Masquerade. Don't take off my mask.
Okay, the story.
Story was the absolute banger. I think it had the best story. But there is a problem with the story, though.
Okay.
It's villains. That is the problem.
It's villains. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So
Talk to me.
let's start with how do you want to start this?
Let's just talk about the villains.
Okay. So starting off with Kamoshida, where you get your boy Ryuji, An, and Morgana. Starting with them. Kamoshida was a bastard. He was a very good starter villain.
He was too good.
Yes, he screwed with everybody in the party in a very significant way for doing minor infractions to him because he had clout to get away with it. He broke Ryuji's leg. He was trying to sleep with An, this 17-year-old high schooler. I know it's legal in Japan, but it's still really weird. And he threatened to get
best friend.
Yeah, tried to did awful things to her best friend. Yeah. Tried to get the main character suspended just for being like, hey, can you not be such a jerk? He's like, suspension. No, he tried to get you expelled, actually.
Well, yeah, not just like suspended or expelled, but like even if he did that, he would have gotten kicked out of Sojiro's and like probably would have gone to prison.
Yeah, it was just the game felt very stacked against you at the very beginning, which was the whole point. Yeah, but it was a very good opener.
And there's a big sense of urgency, like, okay, I gotta take this guy down.
And it's like we gotta get through the palace. No messing around here. No hanging out with Ryuji after school. We gotta do this now. No.
And then you get to the palace, and then it's just like, wow, this guy's actually like awful.
He's
like,
the worst person. He's getting away with actual child abuse, and all the teachers know about it, but the principal's like, it's okay. Even none of the teachers want to say anything. Like, this volleyball teacher cannot be that important.
He's an Olympic medalist.
Like, who cares? You're gonna let him beat your kids just so they can become an Olympic medalist? I mean, no, you're not gonna do that.
Can you meet Morgana?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next boss, I guess.
Madarame was good, but the way that he messed with Yosuke, basically.
Yeah, I definitely think that he was another strong boss, but I think it was good that like the team got a break and that it was almost all focused on like this one character.
Yes.
And he just kind of took the brunt end of like the whole thing. Because it's like, okay, yeah, I basically took your mom in and like made her like indebted to me. I stole all of her art.
Yep.
And the one piece of art you love that you think I created, she actually created, and it was of you, and it was of the love that you like she had for you. And then I like watched her die and let her die.
Yeah.
And now you're indebted to me forever.
Yeah, this
I was
like,
oh,
like goodness.
Okay, I had my like reservations, but now we can actually just
now I can just go into the palace and do all types of messed up stuff. And then we can talk about how cool the palaces are later because they had a bunch of different mechanics to them.
Dungeon design.
Yes.
Like, that wasn't just walking around.
Like, all right, I found the chest now.
And getting hit by an overpowered shadow.
Yeah, okay. But who's next? Makoto with the bank.
Kaneshiro, yeah.
Kaneshiro, I felt like he was a little bit weaker, but with the way that he was messing with people in the city was a very good thing. He was getting kids to like sell drugs, basically. Mm-hmm. This was your first stint into taking on the Yakuza. Yeah. Basically.
I definitely feel though, like when it got to the point where it was a lot less personal and a lot more societal, it just like my emotional investment in like each of the palaces just went away.
Yeah, definitely.
Just because I was like, dang, I don't like feel like this is a Kamoshida. Like I don't feel too bad about taking this guy down, but it's just like because at that point it's like the more things change, like the more they stay the same. Where it's like you can take down this like mafia boss, but there's always going to be another mafia boss, right?
Yeah.
But it's just like actually taking down Kamoshida was like, dang, we actually got this guy.
Yeah.
and you felt something.
And that's like, even at the end, like you just said, at the end of taking out Kaneshiro, they took him in, but the police knew, like, hey, he was going to be replaced in like a week, basically.
Yeah.
And another aspect of that was, if you're doing like mementos by this time, he's like, you guys owe me 3 million yen, and my character's like carrying around 3 million yen. I wish I could be like, all right, here you go, bro. Fine. He's like, what? But yeah, you have to go take him
It's
down.
like, I've been hanging out with Ryuji. I got the insta kill. I
Yeah.
get 3 million in a second.
Yeah, man, this shit, money's easy. I don't know what you're peddling drugs for. It's into mementos, playboy. But who was after that? Was that Okumura?
I think there was a fourth
No,
one.
it was Futaba.
Yes, Futaba's Palace.
Yeah, Futaba was. I liked her.
It was good. It was a P4 palace essentially.
Yeah.
But it was like it was done really well.
Mm-hmm. You get her backstory, what she's going through. Yeah.
You get part of her backstory because
Yeah.
I feel like there's a whole other part that just like takes place over the course of the rest of the game.
Yeah, like in her social link and with Sojiro social link.
Sojiro,
Yeah.
yes. But yeah, that that was probably my favorite. That the palace, the song that plays when Mother was I think it's like the days when Mother was here or when Mother was here.
Mhm.
And that's probably the best song in the whole franchise. Like that one is it, and like the dungeon design in that one, oh,
Yes.
fantastic. But and then 5, that was Akuma, right?
Yeah, that's where my disconnect really hit me the hardest. I think that's a general consensus, honestly, because Okuma really felt kind of disconnected from things. Like, I mean, we know he's connected to like the main boss and everything. With yeah, but still, I also didn't like with the way that Haru got sidelined for Ryuji and Morgana's feuding, basically.
Yeah.
Like, this is supposed to be her palace where she's doing her whole thing of, I'm going to be my own person, rebellion, which is the whole point of the game.
Yeah.
And it felt like this was more of a Ryuji and Morgana-centric thing as opposed to Haru, because she didn't even get that many lines in there either.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't really change anything in her life aside from her dad getting killed. She's still...
we just basically killed her dad.
Yeah, she's still in her arranged marriage and like near the end of the game where until she's like, yeah, no, basically. It doesn't feel like we really helped her out, which stinks.
Yeah, I definitely feel like not giving Haru like that screen time because yeah, like you said, Ryuji and Morgana fighting. I think that was just stupid. Like, obviously, I honestly don't feel like that needed to happen at all. And then like the palace obviously is not supposed to feel very monumental. Like, oh, we really changed this, because I feel like that was definitely when they were like, are we just doing this for like popular opinion? Are we doing this like because we feel like it's the right thing to do?
Yeah.
Because apparently, like, if you remember, Okuma was not actually like the highest rated guy.
Yeah, somebody hacked the site.
Yeah.
And Mishima didn't feel the need to
Shido's,
tell that. Futaba had to find it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
Yeah.
I think it was Sai after that.
Yes. I like size. I was like, oh, given to temptation. Ooh. Why just spin the wheel? I was grooving to that one. I liked her Palace's theme a lot.
That's a good song.
I liked how at the end we really didn't change her heart. Like, similar to Mishima, how she was able to do it herself.
Yeah.
It was a very good thing. And then the whole plot twist that we can get into later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then was it Shido?
Shido, yes. Shido's was, again, we just keep going higher and higher in society. It's kind of that we've really lost the disconnect with Madarame and Kamoshida by this point. It feels like we're up here instead of like dealing with like grounded issues.
Yeah.
And it's good that one of the final bosses is connected to your character, but I just still feel a very huge disconnect with what's going on because of the way that Shido's boss fight goes. Because you fight him like 5 times.
Yeah, but it's like really quick too.
Yeah.
It's like this guy's not putting up a fight,
Mm-hmm.
and we can go into why that is later. But yeah, it just did not feel very
Climactic. Yeah. Well, I mean, I know it's the point, but still, like, this is supposed to be like your main character's enemy right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I should feel this more than Kamoshida.
Mm-hmm.
But the Mementos.
Going down. Mementos felt like the dungeon crawling in its best aspects, and that we could get around quickly with the Morgana bus. Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sprint.
Yeah, it felt good after say we beat Kamoshida, we go down like 10 floors of mementos. We beat Manorame, go down another set amount of floors. Like, yes, I made it to the end. This feels good. Like, even if it didn't eventually lead you to getting to another place, even if it was just an optional dungeon, in my mind I was thinking, like, this obviously has to be important.
Yeah.
But I felt good going through mementos. There was just so much to do there. Especially with all the extra requests that you got and how it related to other social links that you were a part of. It felt important. It was good.
Yeah.
And then the final boss, he was like, oh, I'm gonna...
Yeldabaoth.
What was his thing again? His was like tricking the masses, basically. Yeah, the whole thing was like about trickery. And what did he want? He wanted to control everybody, right?
Yeah, well, he was like, I am the manifestation of like humanity's desire to be controlled. Like, it's like people want like to be controlled, and they want like a schedule, and they don't want to do things themselves. And that's why like the Phantom Thieves were good, like juxtaposition to that, because they wanted to control their own fate.
Yeah.
They were rebelling against like everyone's complacency with their lives.
Yeah, and I think we saved Maruki for later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what are we going to now?
We can go to the characters.
So let's start with Ryuji.
Ryuji,
Yeah.
or Morgana, actually.
Oh, Morgana, technically. Yeah, Morgana's okay. Morgana was kind of annoying. Like, I like Morgana.
Yeah, all the mascots were just kind of eh.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like the inferiority complex with Morgana was probably the stupidest part
Very
of
much so.
the game. Like, that's probably why I disliked Akrumura's dungeon the most, is because we had to sit through all of that.
Well, like, between Ryuji and Morgana's drama going on.
Well, it wasn't really Ryuji's and Morgana's drama. It was more of Morgana being like, taking a step back and being like, well, like Ryuji's the muscle, On's like the sex appeal, Yusuke's like the calm and collected one.
Yeah, he brings everybody back together when they're being too hot-headed.
Yeah, Makoto's like the brains.
Yeah, Futaba's the info guy.
Yeah, and then I'm just like nothing.
Yeah.
So that's why Morgana was like feeling that way. I feel like it was definitely less of Ryuji, but Ryuji definitely catalyzed it by saying like, you're such like an idiot.
Yeah, well, to be fair to Ryuji, Morgana at the beginning of the game took every opportunity to do that. Like, say Ryuji misses somebody, it's like, oh, Skull, you're so useless, and he does it with the biggest shit eating grin. I'm like, can you calm down, Morgana?
It's so true.
Like, we're teammates here, you're not supposed to do that.
Like, it was very uncharacteristic of Morgana to just go off and be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go find like my own team.
A brand new team, yeah.
I'm like, bro, aren't you the one who's supposed to be super cocky and you're not supposed to like feel? Well, I guess I can understand that, because throughout the whole thing, there was this whole thing where it was like, I don't know what I am. Am I a cat? Am I a human? What am I? And it was just like, okay, like you can have this identity crisis later, because like we're trying to do another palace right now. So On.
That was cool.
I call her On. I still think it's Anne.
Yeah, I think it's, but I mean, everybody says On, so I say On now. I'm like, On.
And Haru is actually like Hal, but it's Haru.
Oh yeah, I kind of like with B-Stars, but Fool's Guild talks about anime.
Fool's Guild talks about furries. Furry anime.
Furry anime. The kind of okay furry anime.
Not one anime. Actually, there's another one. Have you seen Odd Taxi?
I have not.
That one's pretty good, but it's not really like a furry thing.
Okay.
Even though they're all animals.
Yeah, we can talk about that later.
On.
I liked her relationship with Shiho. Her social link was actually kind of fun when I think about it, about how she's trying to, she's like part foreigner. She's like, what, part European or something?
Yeah, no, well, it was like she's a quarter American.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, but wait, why does she look more like white than Japanese? Whatever.
It was like, it was her coming to her identity with like being exotic, basically. That's why Kamoshida liked her so much.
Yeah.
Such a creep. That crimson chin looking son of a bitch. But yeah, like it was her coming to terms with
Veggie Tales looking at
her coming to terms with being foreign, wanting to be a model, having like being sexy and being okay with people looking at her in certain types of ways, coming to terms with herself. Even with like that other model who was trying to undermine her, she basically laughed it off at the very end. She's like,
Mika,
yeah, she's like, you do your thing, girl. Like, you can try to undermine me, but I would be better than you. It's like she formed a friendly rivalry through all the bullshit.
Yeah.
And your main character was there to help her out the whole time, other than like giving her a thumbs up. He was like, She was like, I want to make my heart stronger so I can be better for Shiho, so I can be a better model, so I can be a better person. I'm like, yeah, on.
Yeah, you're basically just a cheerleader the whole time.
Yeah,
It was fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
I personally wish that she would have done what every other character did, though.
Mhm.
Every other character basically took their their in palace arc and completed it. Because a lot of characters like Ryuji, because we've already talked about him, he like took his arc from like Kamoshida. He's like, Kamoshida kind of ruined my life,
Yeah.
and we're finally getting revenge on him.
Mhm.
But then it kind of, you don't have any of the wreckage from like his past until after, where you're like going through a social link and you're saying like, okay, here's his track team, here's like this coach that they brought in to replace his other coach because like they wanted to just like push him out, and then now he's like making amends with his teammates and all that, and so his kind of arc wraps itself up in the social link. But I don't think Ons does that as much as like him and Yusuke and Futaba and Haru. Definitely. Because I wish On would have like spent more time with Shiho just as like just to wrap it like that. That could have been the whole
like
thing.
Shiho doesn't show up until the end of the social link. Yeah. That did not make me happy. Yeah.
And then it just focuses on like her modeling career, which I think is fine. But you could have done like, oh, like I'm doing a modeling gig in this like one region of Japan where Shiho is, and so we can visit Shiho now. Like that would have been cool.
Yes.
Yusuke,
I loved Yusuke, my boy, artist boy, loved him so much. He's such an odd. When you're hanging out with him at the church, and he's like, "Strike a pose for me," occurs like, and then he, at the end of the event, he copies you at the exact same time. And then when you're right, he's like, "I need inspiration. We need to go to the park." And you're like rowing him in the boat, and he's like, "Stop right here." He like starts drawing a couple. He yells at them to stop moving so much. I love him so much. He's like, "Where do I go next?" Inspiration, mementos. And I'm like, my character's like, dude, there's shadows in there that could kill Sugi. He's like, we gotta go over. I was
like, let's just go floor one.
He's like, all right, I'm loving your enthusiasm. Let's do it.
It's like the Reaper's coming, bro.
Yeah.
You hear the chains.
Oh man. And then his whole thing with getting that scholarship, I feel like he should have accepted it at the end. That's just me personally.
Yeah.
But his whole journey was trying to make art in its purest form, and I really love that.
Yeah.
Just he tried to veer away from what Madarame was doing and doing it all for profit. And obviously, to make a living, he's going to need to profit off it a little bit. I'm glad that he came to terms with that. But I feel like it could have been a little bit stronger if he had fully accepted. Like his arc definitely comes to a conclusion with him forgiving Madarame in a certain sense.
Yeah. With
how he viewed the art world. But I feel like it could have been a little bit better with him accepting the profit and the I love art aspect. Obviously, the I love art aspect blew everything away. Yeah. But I still love Yusuke. He's so much fun. Such an eccentric.
He's a great character.
Yes.
Makoto. Makoto, I definitely feel like she's in the same boat as On, where they didn't really have any sort of confidant arc at all. Like, it was just focusing on her friend who was dating this host.
Yeah.
And there was just no like, oh, Makoto is like going on this like journey, and then at the end she's just like, you know what, I want to be like a police officer someday.
Yeah, I'm like, cool.
Like, whatever.
Yeah, I don't care that much.
Yeah, I honestly also think that her dungeon didn't really paint her arc that well, and it wasn't until like Sae's dungeon, which was towards the end, where I was like, okay, Makoto, you're actually like being character.
Yes.
But that was also like a Catchy's moment to shine. So I feel like there was a lot of toe stepping there, as well as like with the Haru thing. Yes. Speaking of Haru, the goddess of being off screen.
Yeah. They did her so dirty. They did her a little bit better in Royal, where she shows up at the beginning of the year on the Hawaii trip and a few other times sprinkled in between there.
Yeah.
But that poor girl got sidelined so hard. It's always really difficult to be the last joining member of the team.
Yeah.
Because she joins in November when the journey's damn near over. It's like you only have a couple of dungeons with them.
Yeah.
They did.
She's strong as hell.
Yeah, they did. Like, Naoto was the 10th party, the last party member.
Yeah.
And when she shows up in October, but she was there like the entire time. Like at the beginning of the game, Dojima was like, tell Shiranui to kiss my ass, basically. And she shows up during Kanji's thing. She shows up right before her dungeon. She just keeps showing up, popping up. But Haru was like, until Royal, she was like, I'm off screen.
I definitely feel like there should have been a lot more involvement, even with like the Kaneshiro dungeon,
Mhm.
like anything involved with like the higher ups. Like
Yeah.
she should have been involved, or
She-
just like she could have been a crush for like Ryuji.
Yeah, or
like,
she could have.
Morgana was like, oh, who's that girl?
Yeah, she could have been like one of the people that you talked to about Kaneshiro. She's like, because she's an older student, she definitely could have heard some rumors about something. She's like, yeah, I heard about so and so Chan. She got in some very big trouble. Like, do you need help? And you could like go like, no, we don't need help,
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah. Or she could have even been a part of somebody else's confidant early on.
Yes.
Which would have been interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Futaba.
Futaba was fun. I see
I wouldn't
Futaba.
sip her.
I wouldn't sip her
She was
either.
literally like 12.
Yeah, I was like, again, it's like I feel like she's your little sister basically. With how Sojiro and her work, I was like, Futaba, I want to see you be more social, have friends, and do stuff.
Uh-huh.
And that's why I'm really glad during Sojiro's social link, he's like, don't get with Futaba. I'm like, don't worry, bro. Don't have to worry about that.
I have 9 girlfriends. She's not one of them.
She's not one of them.
Akechi.
Bro, I love Takechi.
Okay, we can talk about that later though.
Yeah.
Yoshizawa. We don't have to talk about Yoshizawa.
Who was that again?
She was Sumire, Kasumi,
Oh.
Kasumire.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, your bird social link. Yeah, she's
Yeah,
okay.
I simp for her though.
Okay.
I'm a big stan.
You're a big stan. I feel like since she was supposed to be the
Femc.
thief foil, the Fimsy, yeah, she was supposed to be the foil to your main character. I feel like she could have showed up a little bit more often. But yeah,
The Confidants.
the confidants, they were all very strong. Again, aside from Oya, they were all very
They
strong.
were all very nice.
Like Hawaii, great social link. No Good Suna, very good social link. Sojiro, great social link.
Sojiro, insane.
He was damn near perfect. He beat Dojima for me with Hierophant. Like he was that good.
He was that guy.
It was like he was even connected with Shido. Like there's so much information about him. He's like he really opened up the game to Kenny. Great social link about her trying to make a miracle drug to help people, but she got outed by a jerk doctor.
By her Hyruga.
Yeah, Kawakami, her with like the devil from the last game about her coming to death terms with the death of one of her students, helping her out with that. Super great. Even the fortune teller lady was actually kind of fun.
She's okay. I felt like there were a couple dry ones, like her, Hifumi.
Hifumi could have been better, yes.
Um,
Hifumi was supposed to be one of the Phantom Thieves, actually. You remember that? Yeah, she was supposed to replace Makoto, I think.
no, I think she was another.
Just another edition?
Phantom Thief.
Okay.
But she had a different hairstyle or something.
Mm.
But she did go to another school.
Yes.
So that was
Yeah, she was supposed to be Yusuke's one friend at the other school. Yeah. That would have been good.
Did you talk about Yoshida? That was definitely one of the big ones. The
That-
son.
Yeah, the son. Yes. Again, another character who was connected to the top. A little bit of him being a former politician.
I don't know. That's almost all we have.
Okay.
I want to talk about the music. One last go.
Life will change. Oh.
The Tokyo Daylight.
I'm not a figment of your Asian old mind. Dang, I forget. How does it go? I gotta remember the beginning of the song. Like, I'm forgetting the name. What's the Phantom Thieves? Like their central theme. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting it. I'm not an image of. God dang it, I can't remember. Life will change. Da, 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 da. I'm forgetting the music.
What was the central theme of this one?
Rebellion
Rebellion.
against the system, man.
Yeah, and that's what the red is. The red is definitely like the sexy color, the
Mhm.
cool.
The rebellious color. Basically, everybody in the gang wears black. Like, is their primary color with
Mhm.
addition. Joker's is black and red. Ryuji's is black and white. On is mainly red. Then Makoto was
It's like
gray and
charcoal,
black. Yeah.
Yusuke,
Haru's
black,
is
a little white.
like black and pink. Yusuke's is black, white, and blue.
Kasumi was black.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Akechi was basically black, but
Yeah. From his
when he was
true.
fronting.
Yeah. Then
We didn't talk about Akechi.
Akechi. I love Akechi. I
Akechi
like
was
got Death Note themes the entire time
Yeah.
what was going on. I was like, it's the rematch that L and Light were waiting for, except in video game format. Except I got to be L this time and win like I should have. But that's another discussion for another day.
Yeah, I definitely feel like this game's voice acting was way better than the other two,
Yeah, top
especially
notch.
from like Ryuji
Mhm.
and Akechi.
For real? For real?
No, yeah, I like Ryuji. I felt like I was talking to a human
Mhm.
just because of how he was like portraying the character.
Yes.
But yeah, Kechi was like a great performance.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I definitely feel like the characters in P5, like in your main team, they were definitely like a gang. They were
Yeah.
like a group of friends.
Yeah.
That was like P4. P4 was like a group of friends.
Yeah, they were still your friends, but as a unit, they feel a lot stronger. Everybody in, even though they worked well as a team, everybody in Persona 4 felt very individualistic. And not to say that the Persona 5 game didn't, it's like everybody knew how to play off of everybody's strengths in that game. And then in Royal, where you can get like their combo moves, essentially, everybody in the group has a combo move with everybody else, which is really, aside from like Joker, it's very good. Like, On and
Morgana have one.
On and
Yusuke have one.
Makoto and Ryuji and Yusuke, and then
Makoto Haru.
yeah, and then sadly Joker gets one with Akechi.
Joker gets one with
Akechi and
Kechi
Sumire.
and Sumire.
I feel like he should have gotten one with at least Ryuji and maybe Morgana.
I don't think so.
You don't think
I
so?
thought it was fine.
Whatever.
They only have a small budget.
Yeah, no, only a couple million.
A couple of
dollars
Sega bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the confidants, I definitely feel like made the game way too easy.
Mhm.
That's what I was saying before. Like the Shido fight was not that hard, mostly because by the time you get to the 7th dungeon,
Mhm.
you've maxed out a lot of your confidants.
Basically all
so
of them,
you
yeah.
get like free massages.
Mhm.
You get like Hifumi's double gold at the end of battle.
Yeah.
You get like you can switch out characters.
Yeah, all of
Use the
Takemi's
kill.
stuff. Like
Yeah.
you can get an SB adhesive for everybody who needs one.
Mm-hmm.
You got all the like 50 LeBlanc coffees saved up basically, so everybody's getting their SP back. They're just drinking that stuff up.
Yeah, every character has like a follow up, and every character will block Joker from certain death.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
can wake you up from status.
yeah, the Gaming King, if you like sneak up on somebody, you can do the bullet hail thing and basically knock your enemies down to half HP.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you can like
Ryuji's insta kill yet
you
again.
can like unload your clip and just down all the enemies.
Yeah.
It's just like okay, that's an insta kill.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that on top of like in P5R, in Mementos you had Ryuji's insta kill, which would just kill an enemy,
Mhm.
like if you're dashing past them if
Yeah.
they were to a certain threshold, and then you had like Hifumi's I forget what like it was called, but it basically doubled your gold
Okay.
at the end of like a fight if you beat it before the first turn ended.
Mhm.
Then there was like Jahaya's fort, like it was like money fortune or
Mhm.
something, and it like gave you like double money.
Yes.
And then you had Jose's 200% mementos gold.
Mm-hmm.
So if you insta killed an enemy, you were getting like so much gold.
Yeah.
And so you would get like you'd start getting like maybe 1,000,000 gold per hour or 1,000,000 yen per hour. And then like by the end of it, you were getting like the max yen in like 20 minutes. 10
Yeah, so you
minutes.
just go to Takemi's clinic and be like, hey, I'm buying everything. She's like, what?
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, what do you mean everything? Yeah, everything. Yeah, you would like gold is everything in that game.
Mhm.
It's personas, like you can craft Satan for gold.
Yeah.
It's just like, and in P5R, you know how the twins give you like you can buy personas
Mhm.
that are above your level at
Yes.
the max rank. In P5R, they do it at like level 5,
Really? Didn't know that.
and at like rank 10, it's like you get a discount. I'm
Mm.
like,
Nice.
that's like crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely a lot easier than like 3, but I feel like 4 definitely had the most balance
Yes.
in terms of like actual combat.
Yeah, I hope when P6 comes out, just say for crawling through all the palaces, they don't have to go with the whole sneaking aspect because I feel like that belongs to Persona 5, but I hope
Yeah.
they keep that sense of we can get through the palace in a smart and efficient way instead of just like stab shadow, enter fight basically.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, what are your thoughts for P6? What do you want to happen?
Not green.
Not green, why not?
I don't want everybody wants it to be green. I'm feeling this is one of the few times I'm feeling like a contrarian, not green, anything but green.
But green's cool. Green's into the environment. They want to protect the environment.
That's true. First game was about the P3's depression. P4 was accepting yourself. P5 was rebellion. I guess Persona 6 can be about recycling. I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing even just because I don't know. because it's going to be a male protagonist, but I wouldn't mind just seeing like a female protagonist.
I wouldn't mind them trying to do the female MC again. They can keep most of the dialogue the same, except change it at the very end where the guy's like blushing or something. It's like, oh, I like you too. Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope the dungeon design is similar.
Mm-hmm.
I hope like they can just use the same engine. I
Definitely.
don't mind the engine.
Yeah.
It looks clean.
Mm-hmm.
The UI kind of gave me headaches sometimes.
That's fair.
I feel like P4 had the best UI.
Mm-hmm. Was it the way that Joker was like swinging around all the time?
Well, yeah, it would just be like you select a menu and then like a whole other like explosion happens on screen,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, what's going on?
It's like Joker's holding up his phone in the pause screen, and then he like clicks a button. He's like, It's like
he
you get your,
jumps up and gives you like a half moon.
yeah. It's like you get your confidant page. He's like looking behind you. Your confidant is there. And it's just so much crazy stuff. If you went to the settings screen, you would actually break the screen. It would just like fall through. And I'm like, that's cool and all, but like this feels like it's alive.
So let me write this.
Yeah.
Just like opens a book, like whoosh.
Well, now, what should I talk about now? What should we know? And then you give that to Sojiro at the end of the game. He's like, this kid, I should sell this as a
like,
movie.
wow, there's a lot about my daughter in here. I don't know if I should be reading this.
I did not do. I held hands with Futaba on the way home. That's all I did. I swear.
Yeah.
I can't remember the. Other than Life Will Change, I can't remember the lyrics. I remember the lyrics to basically everything else that I really like.
There was something interesting while I was doing this because it's like there's the Killer song that goes like all these things that I've done. Have you heard of that one?
Mm-hmm.
It's like when there's nowhere else to run. There's like
Was that a Catchy's theme?
no, there's like a main like line in the middle of the song where he goes time, truth, hearts, and I was like, wait, that's like P3, P4, and P5.
Mm-mm. Did we talk about Maruki?
No, I don't really want to though.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
It was just kind of
We're
like,
talking
oh,
about-
do you want all of your desires to like
Be true.
be true?
Yeah.
And then you're just like, no, because
Yeah.
I work for the life that makes me miserable.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to rebel against this just because I can't.
Just because I
That's the
can.
theme of the game.
Yeah. Because I can. I imagine like somebody like throwing something through a window, basically. Like, I can do this.
And then there's like a whole scene where they're just like slapping each other with like a white glove.
Yeah.
It's like,
What other songs in the game did you like? I like the Rainy Day mix. I love that one.
the Rain one was good. Alley Cat, which is the sad like.
It's like after the gang like messed something up, they're all just like sitting in LeBlanc like dead.
Sojiro was just talking. He's like, oh, back in my day.
Yeah. Oh, did I sure get around?
Boy.
I couldn't get the one woman that I actually loved though, and now I'm
Well, you should have seen me in my prime.
like, dude, I got around.
Dude, there was one, like, you know how he's like, let me explain, when you're like making coffee.
Yeah.
And it'll like show you, oh, this was made in the Andean mountains of Peru. And it was like, these were brewed in like the camel's ass or whatever.
Yeah.
I was literally-
That's what Haru was talking about.
No, yeah. I was literally like, for one of them, I would just make up my stories. Like, I would just be like, oh, this one was made in elephant poop. And then like halfway through Haru's arc or her social link, she's like, do you know what this coffee was brewed in? And I was like, no. And she's like, elephant poop. And I'm like, I made that up. There's no way you actually just said that. And then like one of the responses was, I can taste the elephant. And I was like, yes.
Where's my phone? I left my phone somewhere. Whatever. Who cares? I really want to sing a little bit of the song, but I can't remember. I'm so angry right now.
What's it called? Life Will Change.
Life will change. Yeah. Just pull up the lyrics. Don't actually pull up the music.
Oh, we might get copyright strike. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know that we're out there, changing lives in the making. You're liable to take